Yes, that's where we're picking up. Party has turned around, booking it, and have no longer been the concrete twisted hallway that they started running down has now turned into a very, well, not concrete anymore. It's a very sandy, almost stone brick sort of architecture.
So it kind of looks like it's old and not atomic age.
Yes, this is very clearly not atomic age.
Can Tullus roll a perception check to hear if these guys are coming up behind us? Because I don't know if they might be trying to follow us.
Yeah, go ahead, give me a perception.
Alright. Tullus, don't fail me now. Tullus is, of course, probably going to fail me at this very moment.
Just because you asked.
Yep. Wits plus composure. Rolling. Submit. It did not fail me.
So, Tullus starts listening, doesn't hear anything. He turns around, there's a wall.
Okay.
Seems like right as you went around the corner is no longer there.
I don't think we need to hurry anymore. As Tullus stares at this new wall that has appeared.
Not like direction sense helps here.
Well, stranger things have happened, I suppose. Maybe.
Stahl. Turn down the sensitivity on your mic a little bit. We're getting a lot of just ambient noise.
What do you mean more immersive? Yes. So the hall that you just came down has now been replaced by a very sandy stone brick wall.
I mean, I guess there's only one option now. And Tullus turns back around, facing the outstretched hallway.
Nowhere to go but up.
Alright, so moving forward, this stone brick sort of architecture continues for a while. There are turns, but it seems to just be turning in on itself. Like, you'll make a right turn, then another right turn. You'll make like 7 right turns in a row around the same corner before it opens up again, back into concrete.
I'm getting a headache from this place.
Oh, have you not been to the realms of the dead?
Are we?
No. I have no urge to go there anytime soon.
But yeah, it opens back up into a very similar facility, the similar facility that you came in through. Long hallways, side branching office, technician rooms, equipment all over the place. Strolling very distraughtly, from, if you could even tell body language, between these rooms is one of the very tall, lanky, pale individuals. Just sort of, it seems lost. It's just gazing around, spinning around as it's walking, occasionally clutches its head. Even further down the hallway, emerging backwards out of a door, is what appears to be a small team of the Charon individuals, who, upon realizing they're in a hallway, start spinning around trying to figure out where they are, trying to take up a 360.
We know that feeling.
Intimately, unfortunately.
At least it's not just us.
What the hell's going on here, though?
Reality is breaking.
I mean, can reality break in a more logical way, please?
No.
Just talking to the air. Cherry, anything? Any ideas?
Well, likely what is happening is some similarity to what originally caused this place to exist, I suppose. Which is not a good thing. And likely, whatever sort of thing this place originally was being somewhat similar to being at least observably similar to the Charon disaster of, I don't remember what it was, but she explains it. Not Charon, Chernobyl, the Chernobyl disaster of time. I'm given that, and likely this has some form of that, as well as having some space warping magic connected to it of some type, or space warping supernatural effect. I cannot tell you exactly what is going on. However, we are likely trapped in some sort of spatial knot, as it was. There are likely to be escapes, so no real way to tell where those would be.
Well, we need to desperately find one.
Indeed.
Is this particular room still, like, exploding?
Doesn't appear to be exploding, no. No, you left that room. This is back into the hallways that you came in through, essentially, with many, like, branching office rooms off to the sides. But the activity in the hallway continues. Every now and then there's more of the tall individuals kind of roaming around, confused, distraught, if you could say that. The Chiron team that was pulling 360 in the hallway.
Oh. You're glitching out, Gandhi. Hold up.
Oh. Am I dead?
Okay, you're back, I think.
Where did I cut out?
We got to them pulling 360s in the hallway.
Okay, yeah, the team that was pulling 360 in the hallway, they probably saw you, but have made no action, even acknowledging you're there, and have regrouped and have gone through another door.
They've got bigger concerns.
Yeah, most likely. It is at this point, however, sirens do start to go off in some of these rooms. They're quite loud considering they're inside.
An expeditious retreat?
I suppose it is all we can do. Who check. It is worth at least checking the offices as well as they are likely to send us someplace or another that is not the actual office.
What's our goal here?
Get out.
What do we need to do? To get out? Isn't there like a front door? basically.
You
Like
came
not-
in through a sewer pipe.
Right, but like we're in what feels like kind of a main office area.
Yeah.
Back offices and like attached to it, but isn't there like a not back way, like a front way?
There are stairs that probably go up, but this is all underground from what you can tell.
Up is good.
Yeah, this is probably all underground. There probably is no front door apart
Right.
from, access.
Front door's on the surface, which means we need to go
so
up.
go up, so
It is,
Right? Everybody?
I'm down.
In a logical way that works. However, at this point, space is likely so twisted that the specific way we go does not matter.
Maybe so. But I'll feel better going up. Regardless.
Understandable.
So, moving towards the first stairwell you find.
Yes.
Opening the stairwell, the door to the stairwell. The stairs are there. They go about half a flight up before they cut off.
Nice.
They don't just abruptly cut off. They do lead into another room, but unless these are some weird flights of stairs, you've only got about half the flight. It opens up into a like a sandstone, limestone looking brick architecture again. No longer the concrete of the previous facility. As you open the door and kind of start moving inwards, you can hear there are voices speaking further into the room. From what you can hear, it sounds like a fairly large room. They're a bit echoey. Two voices distinctly just arguing. General gist of the conversation is, it wasn't how this was supposed to go. There wasn't supposed to be blood on this mission. These people were probably innocent. Like, we need to get out of here, contact command. Shit has gone wrong, to say it politely. Pardon
sound
my
like-
French, but I don't like the French.
These sound like killers.
Hmm.
Likely the organization that we've been dealing with. He kind of looks over
they-
at Cherry.
Are they using Charon jargon?
It sounds pretty official corporate paramilitary jargon, yes.
I believe these are Charon, yes. Yes, no one I specifically recognize, though.
We've got to stop this bloodshed. If they're up there killing innocents, maybe they'll turn themselves in. You as those words come out of Tullis's mouth, his eyes are already rolling almost out of his head. Like, he already knows what he's saying is ridiculous, but
Yeah.
a man can hope.
I agree with that decision.
So, unless somebody imposes himself between Tullis and that staircase and doorway, he's moving up it.
Fury will go.
Okay, so as you enter the room, this is a very large room. There's a lot of things in here. The centerpiece of the room admittedly appears to be a large tub. Can't quite see what's in it. It's a fairly steep angle from here. The room is filled with a number of what you can only assume to be very valuable gems and jewels and other valuables here. Because Cherry's the only one that'll have a chance of recognizing any of it, any of what I'm
Mhm.
about to say next, Sure,
Mhm.
give me a wits, not intelligence occult. -5.
Oh, okay.
-5. Ooh, like that does anything to Cherry's roll, really?
Yes, I
Oh,
know, but if I ask anybody else for a -5 roll, it'll be a chance die. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The two modifiers are after the -5, by the way.
Yeah, I figured. Exceptional success.
Yeah, but I think she gets exceptions on 3 anyway, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I'm sorry, but numbers have stopped mattering. I'm sorry.
But yes, as Cherry kind of peeks into this room, I mean everybody else will see it too, as well as seeing the two Chiron individuals standing, arguing amongst, admittedly, a pile of bodies. There's a lot of runes on a lot of this stuff here, and Cherry has read a lot of things and can recognize them as very old runes from an empire long past. Pardon if I pronounce it wrong, but it's Iram, whatever. An empire without a name.
Well, that should not be here. I do not know how to explain this properly.
Do we have time with
Yeah,
soldiers?
as people start talking and walking in,
Oh,
the
yes.
two Chiron guys do kind of spin around, and it's like, look, no one else needs to die today.
What have you done here?
The better question is what's going on here.
I believe the reactor is having a meltdown. And I believe that at a certain level, this place is connected. This place is connected either to the past, or some form of another alternate timeline, and likely something to do with Irem. You likely have no idea what the words I just said mean. I don't care.
Look, all I know is we're walking down the hall, and then all of a sudden we're in here, and these folk just come running at us. I mean, what choice do we have? Look, casualties are to be expected, but they kind of trail off as they do realize the situation they're in, and they don't like it, and they're not really sure what the next move here is.
The bodies around them, can Tullus really tell anything about them?
There's 6 of them. They look civilian.
Any ghosts hanging around? Who might want to take advantage of, an anchor?
Technically, yes. They didn't all form ghosts, but there are 2 ghosts hanging around who, I guess, do automatically realize there's a Sin Eater here now and are,
Who is not an open liminal aura, but definitely an anchor.
Yeah. I mean, they are still anchored to their bodies, most likely. So they don't have that problem yet. But they're still kind of reeling from the shock of death.
None of these people are. Cherry is putting somewhat poorly, considering that she is smaller, but she's putting herself between between Rose and these people.
You mean Rose's?
Yeah.
Probably
Cherry's-
recovered from the whole supernal magic thing by now,
Yeah,
and has now been concerned with new problems.
yeah.
Yeah, Rose is, admittedly, at this point, fed up with Chiron,
Yeah.
and makes this known quite clearly as, you know.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What kind of dress are these people wearing? Are these people wearing things that could be like modern, or like
Yes.
things? Okay, like things that could be realistically assumed to be like things people around here might wear. So
Yeah, it looks like very standard civilian, turn of the millennia Middle Eastern garb.
okay.
So what now?
No.
I guess we have to add butcher to your titles, right?
Look, you can fault us all you want. We didn't want to kill anybody here. But when they come at you with knives, I mean, what can I'm not gonna stand here and get shanked to death. You know, like,
Are you not in riot gear?
that doesn't change anything. Someone doesn't just stand there and let themselves get attacked, you know? Like, you do fight back. And, I mean, maybe you don't. Maybe. He kind of laughs and it just. No. Forget I said anything.
Cherry's not gonna escalate the situation. Oh god.
So at this point, though, the large stone doors in the back of this room do kind of start getting creaked open as a couple more individuals start poking through, and it does appear to be more Chiron individuals who realize this is still not a way out. But they do see the other two guys in here, and they're like, all right, good. More friendly faces. Get over here, join us. Like, let's regroup.
At this point, Tullus is gonna kind of put his finger to his lips, assuming that they haven't seen us. They just see their companions, the kind of...
Yeah, they haven't noted. They're just like, they peek in, see two Chiron guys, and they're like, all right, get over here, like, regroup. More Chiron jargon, paramilitary. But the room's big enough and there's enough sight blockers. And they weren't looking too hard for you.
Yeah, so Tullus is gonna kind of just put a finger to his lips and then with his other hand kind of motion for them to move the hell on.
Yeah. Yeah, Cherry's gonna try and quietly move. Move away from this area, probably back down the stairs, I suppose.
So, as you turn around to go towards the stairs. The stairs aren't there anymore, of course.
Yeah.
The other back of this room is now here. And almost as if on cue, the back doors of this room start to be pushed open. Almost as soon as these start to be pushed open, the Chiron doors are pulled back closed, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no Chiron individuals coming through this door.
Mm-hmm.
A group of what appear to be civilians.
dressed similarly to the dead ones?
Yes.
And Tullus is gonna kind of whirl and look from them back at the bodies, back at them, to the bodies.
Yeah. So it is a group of 11, I suppose, individuals here, led by what appears to be a fairly young woman.
Did the 2 soldiers leave?
Yes.
Okay.
But these back doors open, and this group starts strolling in, and the woman leading them sort of speaks up at a fairly grand voice, very meaning to be heard. So I suppose you best start explaining how you got here.
Cherry, begins expositing. We showed up. But specifically, we are people who came here to examine a problem found in occult infrastructure, I suppose, which we came to this place in order to look at, I suppose. When we came here, we came face to face with Charon agents, hence who entered an altercation with. We believe that we are at least by some definition and within an area that is that is a nuclear reactor, or if you understand what that means, that is currently undergoing meltdown and causing vast spatial anomalies. We have recently seen in Charon agents and
I think that's enough, young lady. Very clearly, it's. At this point, the group does take notice of the pile of bodies, and they sort of pause. They're walking in to look at them, and it's just that's concerning.
We came in here when we heard Charon agents talk about potentially killing civilians, and so we believe we're referencing those people who reportedly attacked them with knives. However,
How far have you gone into this building?
Not further than this room.
That's hard to say.
Yeah.
Which building?
I'm gonna have to ask you to not go any further.
We are attempting to leave, however, due to the spatial anomalies, we are finding it difficult to.
So, I'm gonna put a pin in this for a moment. Wyverian. I don't know how to pronounce your character's name. I know you said it. You sent a message to me trying to explain it, but
Yes.
I'm just gonna hear you say it. So, you wake. But not to your cult. I, admittedly, do not know the exact specifics for how, I suppose, a descent goes. Your character, do you even have control of your character for the first scene?
Not
Because it
fully, at the very least. I would not.
says automaton.
Yes. I am completely devoid of any sort of personality or reason outside of maybe recognizing specific individuals, such as my cult. Even then, it's iffy.
Yeah, well, you certainly do not recognize the large group of heavily armed individuals that have now basically poked you awake.
Is my sword close by?
Were you buried with it?
Not necessarily that I was buried with it, it's the fact that my cult would normally keep weapons close to me in case of
Then
emergency.
Probably yes.
I would probably immediately reach for it, and limbs are going to start to fall.
Yeah, as soon as you start reaching for it, shotgun shells are flying. Yeah, buckshots through the air, slugs through the air, etc. Not that it probably can kill you, but
You need me to make any rolls as I lurch forward at these guys?
unless you have a cool ability you want to use, no.
Nah, just giving them the sword at this point.
Because I don't think, even if you do die, I think you just reanimate in like a turn, anyways. At this point,
At 0.
So, yeah. So it's a fairly short fight. As the limbs are strewn across the room, bodies hit the floor. As soon as I said that, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, everybody just has the song in their head now.
Crap. Mission failed. Get him next time. But because you're at memory 0 right now, there's not a whole lot else for you to do here in this scene.
Yes, I would return to my sarcophagus and just wait.
Yes. So, I'm going to put a pin in that again. And we're going to go to Stahl. So, Stahl, last time you fell into torment and immediately caused a firestorm. The memory of what happened in torment, a little hazy. It wasn't very long. The next thing you know, you're standing, well, laying essentially in a field. Far as you can see, the ground is scorched. Everything's been flattened almost. You were in an RV. You're not anymore. The ground is cracked, scorched. Any number of destructive terms. But you're alone. Is there anything you want to do before anything happens? Collect yourself, perhaps.
I'd probably get up and just start calling for Titania or anyone I know to see if they're nearby.
Unfortunately, you're met with quite the deafening silence on the wind here. As you sort of start to spin around, looking for anyone. Coming over the horizon is a single individual. Fairly slowly, they're hunched over. They have looks to be a large pack on their back. Walking stick out in front of them. They are making their way slowly towards you. But that's the only thing that is different from as far as you can see, the flattened landscape.
Do I have my 5 resources worth of doubloons on me?
No.
It's been scorched. No. I guess I try to meet the individual halfway.
So, as you meet the individual halfway, they speak in a fairly ragged, slow, sort of harsh tone of voice. Caused quite the mess, haven't you here?
Is this Kane or is it someone else?
No, it's someone else.
See.
Yeah. You've been out for a little bit now. I found it safer to wait on the outskirts of the storm. I must congratulate you, though. You certainly sent his agents into quite the panic. God certainly reels from this.
Where am I?
You are where you were before. If you couldn't tell. Well, I suppose. How specific of where are you do you want to get?
What about Titania? Did she leave before?
There were a number of individuals that booked and ran as soon as the sky started raining fire, yes. If they did survive, they went further north. But as you can see, the devastation is quite extensive. In fact, it was enough that you... it wasn't even replaced yet.
Placed?
Yes. Just as you were having your issue cause your storm, God decided to replace the broken here, much to our disappointment. Although we warned your friends not to meddle, it looks like they did. But perhaps you made up for it by at least burning him.
Are you one of those demons we heard from before? Or?
You have not been working with demons. No demon would be trying to fix their accursed creator. But I suppose I do owe you for at least hurting it. If you have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I must travel onwards to assess the damage, see just what got repaired, and see if it can't be broken again.
You mentioned that you heard from my friends earlier. Does that mean you know where they are right now?
We did. But from our preliminary understanding, the distance was stretched with the new soil. They are likely still there if they survived the transition. But who knows what was brought in this time? So who knows if they're alive? That's part of the damage assessment. Seeing what we have to work with now.
Look, I'm really not in the mood for all this cryptic nonsense. Every person I've talked to for the past couple days have given me non-answers about all my questions. All I need to know is the location. Give me a direction. I'll go.
Sort of points his walking stick. The same direction. I am on my way.
All right, then I'll follow you until separate ways.
Very well. And he begins walking. The rest of the group. Very shortly after these new individuals, these civilians, mention that you should not go any further into this tomb, the gunshots start ringing out from the door that Chiron was in. Followed by quite a heavy sigh from the leading individual here, and a rapid, expedited pace towards the door. It's best if you wait here or leave. This has gotten out of control.
How do we leave?
Through the door? I'm sorry, whatever magical effect dragged you here removed your brains too.
Was that in character?
Yes.
Tullus is actually gonna eye Drew because he's never heard Drew quite laugh like that before. You okay?
Oh, yeah. I'm fine. I love when people make assumptions about our intelligence when the world is being pieced together like building blocks.
Tullus is actually gonna make a move just because he is somewhat curious. And he's gonna look in the tub.
Very dark crimson liquid.
This
You are
is-
cool.
It's
Hmm.
blood.
And that is a lot of blood. And Tullus doesn't say that like very loudly, but it is loud enough probably for anybody in the immediate vicinity to hear him mutter it.
What is he looking at?
He's looking into the tub. That was the centerpiece of this room.
Oh, that's probably the tub of a blood bather. Concerning.
Blood bather?
Yes, a blood bather is a person who bathes in blood in order to gain immortality.
That's odd.
It is by the vast majority of accounts horrific. The amount of blood necessary is that of many bodies.
Well, they certainly have the bodies, according to this pool.
Indeed.
So, are we... Tullus kind of looks at the door that... I'm assuming she kind of gestured the way they came in.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I
Yes.
I do
didn't
have.
know if you heard me. Sorry.
No, I heard you. I do have to ask out of game. Is Drew gonna do anything with those two ghosts? I feel like they got forgotten somewhere in this.
No,
The ghosts, admittedly, are kind of confused about dying and being a ghost, and just when you thought they might had a grasp on it, they got even more confused when this other group walked in, and now they're looking at themselves. Still alive.
Question.
Yeah.
Are the bodies the same? Do the bodies look similar to the people?
Yes. By all
As-
accounts, these are the same people. Not all of them. Like, there are less bodies than people that just walked in, but by all accounts, the bodies that are on the floor are the same people that were standing there that just walked in.
Huh.
They notice this too and are a little unnerved by this.
but we lack intelligence because we don't know how to leave.
Drew. Did the given that these bodies were clearly freshly killed, did any of them produce ghosts?
At least two.
Cherry just I do not know how to take this information exactly. Hey, given that there seem to be duplicates of people, half of which one group of which are dead.
Broken worlds, different pieces, additional people of the same copies. I don't know, but I don't even know what to do about that either. But Drew would approach the two ghosts, and obviously he looks like he's talking to the air to everybody else, but he like makes it very clear to them, like, to get their attention. Whether he has to like kind of reach out or because who knows. Whatever he needs to do to get their attention, he's going to walk up to them and tell them, you can follow me, and at some point I will take you to where you need to go. But the world is falling apart, so I'm not quite sure when that will be.
The two ghosts, they are kind of just they don't have words at the moment, but they do kind of try to nod and give some kind of acknowledgement. But
Yeah, he's leaving it up to them. They can follow because he's an anchor, but he's not gonna like grab and drag or anything. He's letting them have their agency.
even grab a ghost? Like, do senators, can they just grab a ghost?
I believe the marionette hunt, he'd be able to like make them do what he wants them to do, which Drew doesn't have. But
So you can't just like grab by the wrist and pull it along.
I mean, theoretically, since the rage would enable Drew to do lethal damage to ghosts, he could touch them, but he's that's not
Okay.
what we're doing.
The main thing is like the main thing. There are several main things actually about this that are slightly confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, so completely unembarrassed, Drew walks up to two ghosts that nobody else can see and just talks to them like it's nothing, and then like looks back to his group of people, like looking for what they want to do.
Tullis has kind of just sat down on the side of this tub, and he's kind of leaning on his shotgun a little bit. Safety on, obviously. He's not an idiot. But he's just like, honestly, I'm a little tired, guys.
Given everything we're surrounded by, I would guess that we are currently in the tomb of a mummy. I don't know how to handle this.
Tired?
Yes.
Are you saying you want to stop and rest? Here?
You see a somewhat concerned look on his face. And he kind of looks over into the pool of blood again. And roughly about 25 days ago. And he kind of dips his fingers into the blood and flicks his fingers. 25 days ago was the last time that I was given dosage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired.
I see.
Oh.
I need a moment to rest. And it'll only continue to get worse.
We need to get you back to your doses.
With everything that has changed, that may be problematic. I don't know where this is compared to where we were.
No. But your choices are move forward or not.
That is always the choice I make.
Jerry's gonna look over to Rose. How are you feeling?
So, Rose has no idea what mummy stuff is, admittedly.
Yeah.
Rose's answer is just... Honestly, I feel tired too, but I think we all do at this point. It's been a day. But is this a place to stop and rest?
Frankly, I have no idea. I doubt it, but I do not know. I do not know. I do not know the proper place where one would.
At this point, the other individuals, the civilian-looking individuals. I just said individuals like 7 times, sorry.
Yes, you did.
I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired too, guys. They do start moving towards the door that Chiron went through. Gunshots have died down. Their leader gives a bit of a sigh and is just... I hope this doesn't go badly. As they open the doors and start to shuffle their way inside.
Tullus kind of says, well, they said we could stay in this room, so I'm assuming at least till we can catch our breath and come up with a better idea in what direction to go. Because realistically, it still seems like we're underground, right?
Probably.
If this is some sort of tomb, and Cherry is correct, aren't these places usually filled with traps and mazes and are quite literally designed to keep people the hell out?
That is generally true, though it honestly depends. And at the very least, we should not steal anything at all. Do not touch anything that appears remotely valuable. Or are even not remotely valuable.
Drew looks at the blood on his fingers.
I'm unsure if that matters.
Too late for that if that's the case. Though there is a lot of... I mean, even the amount of money in here would put my father to shame.
Yes. This place is rich, to say the least.
So, putting a pin in this, we'll go to our newest character again. So, the slaughter has ceased for a few moments. And you come back to your basic senses here. You're awake. But when you're awake, you don't know.
Seeing the bodies and limbs littering around, I'm assessing the damage, but the look on my face is... I'm disheartened. This is not the way I like to awaken. I'm perturbed because I have a lack of something that I'm used to, correct?
Yeah. Normally, you've always had a subconscious urge towards something. But as the bodies hit the floor and the gunshots stopped ringing out and the silence fell over the room, you're standing there in deafening silence, not only in the room, but in your soul.
So as I kind of look at these bodies, I actually begin to start collecting the pieces of them and trying to put them back with the original person. And very clearly, I regret what has happened here.
At this point, the doors to this chamber do start to come open. You are conscious enough to recognize at least one familiar face amongst them.
I make a deep sigh as I continue putting bodies back together so they can be at least somewhat entombed properly with all their parts.
As this group walks in, the woman leading them does speak up and is admittedly starting to try to explain what's going on. Prefacing it with a, sorry, my lord, things didn't go to plan here. Like, they're choosing words very carefully as, she is still familiar with the fact that a mummy could delete her instantly upon waking up. But you're met with a very tangled mess of a story here of them beginning. They were talking about trying to wake you, beginning the preparations, and all of a sudden the doors in this tomb started swinging open and strange individuals started pouring out of them, armed, dangerous, and opened fire on them multiple times. tales of bodies of themselves being found littering the hallways. Things are very clearly a little weird right now.
Troubling. Ishtar. Were there any casualties from the current group?
We all appear to be here. Some of us have died apparently multiple times today, but we all appear to be here.
Please tend to these bodies. Make sure they see proper burial. I hate when the peace is broken. Is there anybody that was not hostile?
So far, one group, yes. They came chasing after the hostiles, it seems. And she tries to recount the story that Cherry started trying to describe, but not quite as in detail, as she wasn't really listening. But the general gist of this second group is given to you, yes.
With that, he kind of nods and he picks up the Kalpesh again. But this time he sheathes it at his waist and begins to make his way into the other room. About the time he enters this room and becomes visible to everybody else, you guys see a 6'11" corpse that is literally crackling with power and energy.
That is a mummy.
And I'm assuming none of you are anywhere near close to 6'11".
No. I think
He looks down at all of you and he goes, "My name is Amennakhti."
Hi.
Slightly surprised. Slightly surprised you were both non-hostile and remember your name.
If you would have caught me moments ago, those words would have fallen on deaf ears. However, I have regained a semblance of myself. I have heard parts of what has transpired. But what is your purpose here?
We were largely sent to an area that at very least was here, or in order to solve some form of issue with it is a complicated story. Occult matrices broken, I suppose, if that remotely makes sense.
The world is falling apart. We were trying to fix it, and the world started to fall apart more intensely.
That is a good way to describe it.
So a typical Thursday. It might explain why I am very much alone. And with the world breaking, what are your intentions?
Straightforward intention at this exact point in time is to figure out why it is breaking and try to hopefully unbreak things, though admittedly our knowledge on those fronts is lacking.
And to be quite frank, we're not quite sure where we are at the moment, since the world has been fracturing around us.
This is true. We seem to be in some form of spatial anomaly.
So obviously, with memory 3, I would have a general idea where my tomb is located.
Yeah, that is probably part of your basic identity, yes.
Yeah, so player me realizes this is not going to be helpful to anybody. You are currently located in my tomb, some few hundred meters underground, near the coast of Egypt.
Where?
Egypt.
Egypt is a major nation, and is a major because it's a major
Just
nation.
reading the Wikipedia article for Egypt.
It's a major nation in northern Africa, close to the Middle East. You do not know what any of these words mean. How many continents are in your world? It's difficult.
Have you made a map of every town in the world?
I believe now we're getting outside of basic identity knowledge, so he just shakes his head. I do not recall.
No, she was asking Drew.
Okay. Well, the mummy thinks you're asking him and just goes, I do not recall.
I would presume the general count would be 7 for your world, given that Egypt is a place that exists in mine.
Good. So I'm in another place where I don't know where I am. Excellent. Nothing has changed.
Either way, geography does not matter, considering we seem to be in a world stitched together from other realities. Were even before this moment.
Well, I'm awake. I have very little memory. That's not unusual, though. I have no voice guiding me, which is worrisome. So, until I foresee a better option, I will travel with you along with my cult.
Your who?
And he kind of shouts back at the people who are probably still trying to prepare bodies. Ishtar, get back in here. I think we lost Gandhi.
Am I back?
There we go. Yes.
Okay. Sorry. My connection is dying.
Cherry knows enough about mummies to be concerned, I suppose. She knows many things about mummies, but she also knows enough about mummies to be concerned.
So I didn't hear that end conversation, so I don't know if I need to do a narrative thing. I just heard, travel with you, my cult, and then there was, I guess, describing what the cult was.
Well, no, Drew was just who, and then I shouted for Ishtar to get back in here.
Oh, okay, so yes, that would be important for me to hear.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. So, yes, they'd come running back in.
And he kind of just makes an arm gesture as if to say, these are my people.
Oh. And you're interested in preventing the world from falling apart, I take it?
Seems like a worthy goal, and I have no other directions for now. The judges seem to be silent on this matter, so I do not have issue with this.
Can you lead us out of here?
And kind of looks over at Ishta. Have there been any significant changes?
From what we can tell, no.
I should be able to find my way. Ishta, you might still want to lead, though.
Gives a nod and leads. So, sorry, if you had something to say. So
no.
I was just gonna narrate. Leave.
Exit
Cherry.
stage left.
Roll. Cherry's doing something, but she's trying not to be obvious about it. So, but
What is Cherry trying to do?
Cherry is trying to subtly put herself between Rose and the mummy nonsense as much as possible.